I definitely think that you do need to build a tough skin. And it's not to say to let people disrespect you or talk negatively to you, but sometimes people are under stress and they're under tight deadlines, and you just ask them that one thing that just sent them over. And usually in my environment, if somebody, if I call somebody, hey, I have that, just put it in my folder. Oh, yes, will do. And they snap at me. And later on, they'll come back and say, hey, I'm, sorry for snapping on you. It wasn't you. I was just in a rush to get something done. All right, no worries. Like, apology accepted.
When I was starting my career in film, I would notice that people would be really short on set. And I think it really bothered me at first. Like, there would be people I'd work with in pre-production who were so lovely and nice and had also become my friends, because I think sometimes in film environments you really do become very close to people, unlike a lot of other industries that I have also dabbled in. And what I noticed, was that people would then be a lot shorter on set than they were in pre-production. And it took me a while to realize that that's because, again, things are moving really quickly on set. And I think it's just sometimes, not worth it that you just to then talk to someone later and say, hey, you were really short and you hurt my feelings. Like, realize sometimes they have to be short because they have no choice not to be. And then also realize that there's a time, like when this producer I was working with, she was short a lot. I was like, okay, I'm just going to let that go because it's not a big deal. My golden rule of giving feedback is there's a time and a place for it. Again, being on a set, time is money, and people are running around trying to do things, especially on indie productions where you find yourself having no time at all. So if you feel frustrated about a situation, or you weren't happy about the way a situation happened or the way someone handled something, take a step back, assess the situation, try to figure out if it's a good time to give the feedback, to give the feedback. And if it's not, then you should bring it up at a completely different time when it's appropriate. And of course, though, if someone is treating you horribly, you should not stand for that. And you should tell somebody that you don't like the way that they're talking to you, or you don't understand what they're trying to tell you in a polite way, in a way that does not incite more negative energy or anger towards anybody. But I think it's really, feedback and constructive criticism is really important. But again, there is a time and place for that to happen. And you need to, use your best judgment to figure that out. And coming from a producer standpoint and getting feedback, what I try to do after every shoot is talk to heads of departments and other people who I knew were maybe frustrated, and again, open that door for feedback, realizing when someone is short because they have to get something done, and when someone is just not, so there's a difference between being short and not getting something and getting something done, because that's the only choice they have. And then also not telling you critical information you need in order to do your job. There's a difference.
One of the best feedback that I got early on in my career was the direct one. Like, when somebody said, like, this is, I wish you had done it this way, you had done that way, or if you can do it this way. And I would always wonder and always think, and I would build upon that, because feedback is great. It's about, you need to be able to build on that feedback. And I think I give it in the same ways that I would give my point of view. This is how I feel, or I would have done. But again, at the end of the day, it's the person's choice, because we all have to think and build upon the piece of information that we receive from others on our work and on our art. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we are telling stories for other people to consume.